Welcome, friends, to another edition of Podcast Unlocked, our penultimate episode of 2016. I've been holding on to that all year, waiting for an excuse to use that word. It is the world's #1 Xbox podcast, and we're here at IGN. Destin Legary, Ryan McCaffrey, off the bench, Brandon Tyrell. Good to see you.
Howdy.
Marty Sleva.
We did it.
Love you, man.
Thank you.
Awesome. I wanted to start with actually, we're in kind of game of the year mode. Actually, I want to start by telling you what's coming up on the show this week. And that is, first, the coolest card I've ever received from anyone, or we have received from anyone.
Challenge accepted.
We're going to talk a little bit about Halo Wars Definitive Edition and when you can play that. A major Halo 5 update. Bulletstorm coming back around. Did you miss Bulletstorm?
Why?
No, I remember hearing about that.
Crackdown 3 gets, we got a little new info, maybe when it's coming. We got some info there. Yes, for real. And I know you've played it, Destin. And Capcom with a change in position that makes me very, very happy. So all that and more coming up this week. But I wanted to start with, again, I said, Game of the Year is on the brain. It's end of year. We're reviewing the year that has been. I want to recognize someone who would absolutely be nominated for Unlocked Fan of the Year. And that
is me.
Is not you, but
oh, dang.
Now, fortunately, a couple of the stickers fell off in shipping, but we got this in the mail. I don't know if we should go to my camera for this to see this better, but
I love Alma.
Walnut and sand.
Just relax. Relax. So this was
They were on there when Ryan showed me the first time.
This is a holiday card we received in the mail. It was in just a flat thing that said "Do not bend." I'm like, what is this? Open it up, and it's this. It's got the DeLorean for me, the Australian flag for Alna, the Fear the Fin, shark fin for Sam.
So great.
No, the stickers fell off. We've got some Destiny stuff for Destin, of course, and. As Max Scoville pointed out this morning, Marty, this should have been a Battletoad.
I would have quit the show if that was a Battletoad.
But Jim here actually likes you. So you open it up, and look at this. Look how wonderful this holiday card is. We're going to open the card in a second. The other card, the card within the card.
This is just a really good arts and
How
crafts project.
wonderful is this? This is a holiday card.
That's
from
really cool.
Jim. Hopefully Jim's got his last name in
Have
the
you opened the
card.
card yet?
No, it's sealed.
Oh.
It's right here.
There's anthrax.
What if it's an elaborate ruse to lull
Well,
us into
then
a
you know
false
what?
sense of security?
You've walked right into
Then he
it.
did a good job.
I'm going out a happy man if that's the case. So achievement unlocked, 100 gamer score, best podcast from Jim with all these cool gift cards, which I presume are going to be assigned here to each of us here in a second.
This one's Marty. The coffee is Marty. I'm calling it.
Take it. I'll gladly take it.
This is so wonderful. Hey, Unlocked, just wanted to say thanks for all your hard work you guys do to bring me my favorite show every week. I told Ryan a while back that while there are many great gaming sites out there, the personalities at IGN keep me coming back. So to Ryan, Alana, Destin, Marty, and Sean, and everyone who filled in, that's you, buddy. Thanks for all that you do, and here's to another awesome year of Unlocked. Jim, whose gamer tag, you should friend him and have some fun times because he's clearly a good dude. His gamer tag is Jimbo Jangles. That's two
Jimbo
words
Jangles.
with a Z at the end. So
Badass.
Jim, you
This
are
is
phenomenal.
awesome. Yeah.
Thank you. So I guess we're
really,
supposed
really
to divvy these up,
Maybe there's names on the
but
back?
maybe
No,
actually
let's have some sort of
no.
No?
This
about
should
their
be like The Dark Knight. You should just snap a pool cue in half, throw 5 in the middle pool, and have tryouts.
We're gonna have tryouts. Make it fast. So
That's
we'll
weird.
sort that
That's
out
weirdly
later.
accurate. I don't like it. Your voice is.
I've maybe watched that film a few hundred times. Jim, you
Jim,
rule.
thank you.
Thank you so much. This is the coolest thing. It really made my day.
That's really cool.
Thanks, Jim.
Let's get on to the news, or at least the sort of events.
Pre-news.
Pre-news. It's the best part of news.
All right.
You can still get pregnant
Well,
from
that was
pre-news.
pre-news. Now it's the news. Jesus.
Your brain could.
I'm having a news baby. I want to start by talking about PSX a little bit in the context of Xbox.
This is an Xbox podcast.
I know, and I guarantee I'm going to get hate mail from certain people
this
about
makes
this.
sense.
But no, it's Marty. You were there. You were at PlayStation Experience, and
Yep.
I mean we've talked about this. This is now the third PSX event, and by all accounts, it's for fans. I mean, we media folks you guys had a good time there, right?
amazing
Like
time,
meeting people, but it was a great event, right? By all accounts.
Yeah, it's just such a celebratory event, and you know that everyone in that convention center and in the hotels surrounding it are all there because of a very
common
similar
love.
passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so go ahead, Destin.
It is pretty crazy being there. You can tell everybody's very friendly, and like even I get recognized from Unlocked when I went to the shows in the past. And they're like, we love your show, and they're even really supportive of the Xbox brand. It's really cool. It kind of transcends any platform.
Yeah. So hey, what if Microsoft did something like this?
Yeah, that would be cool.
We've talked about this before, and I don't want this to become like a wine fest, but I have to say, after watching. You know, I watched the press conference on Saturday morning, and I just couldn't help but think, like, man, if sort of you're, I mean, hopefully you own both major consoles, because then you're getting everything. But you know, if you sort of affiliate yourself as an Xbox gamer first, maybe most of your friends are on live, or if you're on PSN. If you're a PlayStation gamer, you can't help but attend or watch that stream as I just. Knock over the microphone.
Everyone's wires are just bleeding right now.
But you can't help but think, man, like, it's really fun to be part of the PlayStation universe.
Totally.
They have this great event, which even if I can't make, I get to watch, and they announce all these cool games, a mix of new stuff. Like, The Last of Us 2 was just a megaton at the end there.
There could be an Unlocked panel.
Yes, or a mix of sort of bringing some stuff back, some old classics. Parappa the Rapper made a long-awaited return,
and it does a great job of like it. I guess for lack of a better term, humanizes folks like Shuhei Yoshida and Gio Corsi
on
and
stage,
Adam Boyes.
and
And so it's one of those like, and Microsoft has those people now. Like you have Phil Spencer and you have Aaron Greenberg and you have Major Nelson.
And
Ken
Lobb.
I could so easily see how this could fit for an Xbox event.
Yeah, and it's so it really my first reaction was actually kind of frustration, because like the event was so good. It's like, man, why doesn't Xbox? It's been 3 years. Why doesn't Xbox do something like this? But the more I thought about it, the more I wondered, and I'm curious to hear your guys' opinion on this. Do you think that Microsoft is, I don't want to say playing us all, but are they really kind of reloading right now for Scorpio to be less of a half incremental step, which the PS4 Pro clearly messaged that way, and that's exactly what it's for. But are we really looking at more of a reboot of Xbox coming up with Scorpio, and then maybe we are going to see, like, is Microsoft just kind of laying low and not, that's why they're not having a thing like a PlayStation experience, or it used to be, they had this back in the day. It was X05, X06, and I think there was an 07, and then I think that was it.
Mass Effect may have been revealed at X05.
It was. Yeah, good memory, Destin. Guy who knows everything about Mass Effect, which really comes in handy these days, in fact.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing I can think of for why the heck Microsoft hasn't done this for Xbox fans.
Yeah, I think when the PS4 and the Xbox One, when they were both coming out, Sony clearly played into the fact that their box is stronger, and also they have the fans' interests at heart. And Microsoft has sort of been making steps since then to kind of get back
they've
into
had to
new leadership.
Phil has had to turn the battleship, which takes a while to do.
You look at it like a presidency. Like you don't enter day one.
That was a disgusting neck snap. I don't know if that was picked up on mic, but that was like the Terminator, just like dun dun dun.
Now I really want to do the other side, but I'm afraid to do it.
Yeah, we're afraid for you.
That was haunting.
As long as I can. One day I'm just gonna stop talking.
No, he killed himself.
It was an accident.
What was I? Like a presidency.
Yes.
Your president's thumbprint doesn't appear for a couple of years, and that's sort of what we're seeing now. I think with Xbox, especially over the past year, and then in the coming year, like this is now Phil Spencer's vision.
The Xbox One S being a great example of that. The 300 games and backwards compatibility being a great example of that.
Yeah, sort of more parity in the indie scene. Or closer to parity in the indie scene.
When PSX 1 was announced, everybody was asking, where's the Xbox equivalent, right? And I think they were taking a wait-and-see approach. And then they had to worry about Scorpio, and planning the announcement for that. And I think you're right. I think they are making sure Scorpio is the best box you can buy. And they're just going to come out of the gate with guns blazing.
Well, that's their answer to
including
the
an possibly,
The PS4 and the PS4 Pro are more powerful than the Xbox, right? They are unequivocally, without a doubt, when we release Scorpio, this is the best piece of hardware you can buy. And I think that's really the card that they're saving. They're ready to drop that card. But are they bleeding dry in the meantime?
Certainly not.
Yeah.
I have no idea, like financially, how a show like PSX does.
Oh, it can't be cheap to put on. That's for sure.
Especially last year, like at Moscone Center in San Francisco, it's probably one of the most expensive convention centers in the country, and that's why you saw
used,
it
like
move
3
down
floors
to
of it,
Anaheim.
Yeah. You recoup your costs with ticket sales, though.
I don't think.
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know about that.
You don't make a profit. You break even, maybe,
Yeah.
and you
What was the price
maybe
of
take a
PSX
small
tickets, do you know?
loss.
I don't know.
Well, but there are things such as loss leaders, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's a thing in any business where
Yeah.
there are things that maybe are either for goodwill or
Yeah.
for, you know, they're for sort of maybe intangible parts of your brand that are worth the investment.
Yeah.
For example, in a restaurant, like the food is the loss leader, so you can get them to buy alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like the closest thing Microsoft has to this is at the past few PAXs up in Seattle. They've had the night before. They invite fans and
The
press
ID at
to
Xbox
yeah,
thing.
to their ID at Xbox things,
Yeah.
and so people can go to the Microsoft campus and then hang out with indie devs, and a lot of the forward-facing Microsoft folks are there. But it's such a small event in comparison to a weekend-long thing like PSX.
Yeah. I mean, one common thing I saw on social media about this was because of course I'm not the only one thinking about this. Everybody's thinking about this. It's like, oh, I'm not sure if Microsoft, and people saying this in earnest, not in a trolling way, like, oh, I'm not sure Microsoft has the lineup, the first party portfolio to be able to have E3 and a conference like this. Now, Microsoft didn't have a conference at Gamescom this year. It was just E3 was it
Their event.
for Microsoft, and they went
looking
big
forward.
with the Xbox One S and bookended with Scorpio. So yeah, do you guys think that maybe is 2017 sort of the revenge of Microsoft, so to speak, and
I definitely think
up
so.
to and including, you know, maybe they will throw a fan event. I don't know when in the year you hold it because there's some big convention pretty much every month of the year at this point. But
you don't want to counter program in December. Like that'd be a dumb move on their part,
Right.
especially because I'm sure a lot of the fans are bleeding over. Like
of course.
Like so many
Xbox
people,
are
like
top
hundreds of
sellers
people
right
came
now.
up to me and said, "Oh, we listen to Beyond," but they like pretty much every one of them was like, "We listen to you on Beyond and Unlocked." So like it is a Venn diagram with a huge center to it.
Yeah.
But so, do you guys think? I'll take an informal poll here. Will there be an Xbox experience, for obvious lack of a better term, in 2017, alongside the Scorpio and a possible really reboot of the Xbox brand?
I think it would be smart to do it in 2017. I mean, if they're going to do it, they need to get out there. There's been 3 PSXs. Now would be a really good time to get your brand out there, show the community that you still care. Well, they do that in other ways, but this would be a really big show of goodwill.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be like a PSX or like an Xbox Expo, right? I think it would be silly not to do a big introduction to the Scorpio because we know just enough about it where they can still come out and wow us at a big tented event on the campus and Redmond campus, you know? Like they did with the Xbox One reveal event, right? So I think when the Scorpio comes out, they throw the gala and have everybody come to get wowed, and I don't imagine that it becomes a serialized thing, though.
Yeah, well, I do think there's going to be some sort of a fan forward-facing event timed with the Scorpio, because I think what they've learned from the PS Pro reveal is that getting just a handful of journalists in a room and then streaming the event to devices 99% of which can't support
or the
HDR or 4K, like you need as many people getting hands-on and seeing it on gorgeous TVs and being in the room for the presentation as possible.
Yep.
And you need those people being the diehard fans who are going to immediately tweet about it and tell their friends about it. And, same thing goes for VR. If they do sort of veer closer to a partnership with Oculus.
Great point.
Like so many people over the weekend, I was like, when I met a fan, I was like, hey, like, what have you seen that was cool? They're like, oh, it's the first time I've ever done VR.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And I'm like, yes, because that's how like VR and 4K are things you sort of need to I hate saying it's to believe. Like you need hands-on experience with these things.
Even you guys talking has struck me with an idea. I think what could make a lot of sense. September, yeah, there's TGS, but Microsoft has never really participated in TGS, and it's Microsoft has had more of a Western focus. September doesn't really step on any other events. It's not near.
It's a month
PSX,
after Gamescom, which Microsoft didn't attend.
Right,
so.
and the Scorpio is, in my opinion, which I'm wrong most of the time, but I think Scorpio is likely to be October or November release.
Agreed.
So if you have a Scorpio event, sort of an announcement event, either at or slightly ahead of E3, and then you detail the price, the launch date, and then what if your first Xbox fan event with a press conference and with everything is in September, and that's the community's first chance to come and play Scorpio before it's actually out. What better way to drum up interest in this thing than hey, your first chance to come play it before it's out is at our fan event.
And you're also hyping up your fall lineup, and you're also hyping up third parties' fall lineups. Yeah. So I feel like that's great for everyone. And then you do tease some stuff that's going to come in 2018.
Not only Scorpio, but also fans' hands-on time with huge titles that have been announced for the year and stuff like that, because it's a few months before release window.
Maybe your
huge
inevitable Star Wars Battlefront 2s and your
Destiny 2.
your Destiny 2.
Whatever Ubisoft's working on for the fall.
I really hope it does happen like that, like a big community event, because those things have personality and gravity to them and mass and
and it just it's fun.
But rather than just you can try Xbox Scorpio at one of 300 Microsoft store locations, in the mall, because they're doing that now.
Yeah,
it's like come out and check out the Xbox One at your local Microsoft store. Like that doesn't have the same weight that a PSX has.
Totally agree. So hopefully we know Phil listens. He's always listened. We quiz him from time to time, and he aces the quiz every single time. So, and I'm sure, obviously, they've been thinking about that for not just for the last week since PSX, but for a lot longer.
I'm sure they had this conversation when they realized that Scorpio was happening.
Also, whenever you remind us that Phil listens, I always want to apologize for stuff like that. The pre-cum joke I made earlier.
Thanks for bringing it back
just
around.
Remind him that you made that joke.
Phil.
That's a good idea.
It's funny you didn't actually reference it. You just made a
you kind of danced around it now. Let's,
dang.
Thanks, Marty.
Sorry.
So let's just mark this episode. We can swear now. Thanks, Marty.
All right, and we'll move on to the news. But real quick, I just want to mention next week. I know we've been doing this in January in the past, but next week is our last. Our last new show of the year. We're all heading on some holiday break after that. So next week, we're going to do our 2017 Xbox predictions. So everybody start thinking about them. Get ready. And the very kind Hayden Williams, I put out the call on Twitter, and he was the first one he actually compiled our 2016 predictions.
Oh, wow.
So we'll go through.
I don't remember that at all.
I know. We're going to go through. Steve Gaynor was in on that episode. So that's
oh, you mean 0 points in trivia, Steve Gaynor?
That's him. Oh. That's him. So we will go through our results for 2016 next week, as well as make our 2017 Xbox predictions. And that's that.
Great show, guys.
We did it. News-wise. We're not done. There's still more to go. There's probably a half hour, 40 minutes of show left.
We finished the pre-news. We are on to the news.
Onto the proper. I'm
excited for the post-news.
Yeah, it's just settle down, Marty. I want to start with some Game Awards stuff. Follow up because of course, it worked out that we recorded right before the Game Awards last week. Halo Wars Definitive Edition, which is the remaster of Halo Wars 1 for Xbox One. If you pre-order the digital version of the Ultimate Edition of Halo Wars 2, I don't know how much that costs, but it's more than $60.
A lot of money.
You'll get access to that on December 20th, so that's this month. That's like 2 weeks from now. So
if you like Halo Wars, it's kind of a good deal, though.
Definitely, and games, God, Halo War. I was replaying. I was replaying part of Halo 1 Wars 1. Damn, that's hard to say. Halo 1 Wars. Nope. Halo Wars 1.
Halo Wars.
Just Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2.
I don't think it's that hard to say.
Yeah. Apparently, my brain disagrees with you.
Halo Wars 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Halo's War.
The first one. It holds up pretty well. It's still a really, really fun game.
And those cutscenes, man. Oof.
Blur, man. Yeah. Blur Studio knows what to do.
They're pretty good at them.
They're a little bit good.
Videos.
A little bit good.
I'm not even joking. Like once a month, I'll watch their sizzle reel that they have as an advertisement on their site. I just have it bookmarked. And I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen that. Oh yeah, that's really good.
We've said it before. That's
your phone.
That's how the Halo movie should happen. We can't seem to get it off the ground. Microsoft should just pay Blur.
Will that be the first good video game movie?
I don't think it'll be Assassin's Creed.
Oh.
What I hear.
Well, it's got to be better than Final Fantasy.
Hey, I liked Kingsglaive.
No, the one from
Oh, the Spirits
10 years
Within?
ago. Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
It's more
See,
than 10 years.
well, I just did.
The one that
what are you
literally,
gonna do about it?
The one that literally had Sakaguchi, you have to leave. The creator of Final Fantasy,
Wait,
like, yeah,
what?
you gotta go, dude. Yeah.
That was
Closed down a Hawaiian studio.
Hawaii. I was just gonna say that. Yeah, it did not. That did not go well.
Yikes.
I will note though, just so I'm not for a little street cred. I saw that in the theater.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gillian Anderson, fan of the show.
Oh, man.
No.
You know that? Maybe.
You never know.
Cisco listens to the Beyond. Gillian Anderson could listen to Unlocked.
Yeah.
She could be our Cisco.
That'd be cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, X-Files, Xbox. It all makes sense.
Truth is out there.
The truth is, she doesn't listen. That's what's out there.
On the topic of Halo, some major Halo 5 update hitting this week. You're getting a custom games browser that allows players on Xbox One and Windows 10 PCs to search for games in progress, which is a thing the community's been asking for a while. Let's see. With the browser comes full access to Forge and Arena multiplayer options for Windows 10 as well, if you're on there. Observer mode enables any user in a custom game lobby to enter the match as an observer. These are all just fun little ancillary things that make the Halo multiplayer experience better. I like that. And then rec pack gifting, giving every player a new rec pack, which they themselves cannot open. It's like the
Oh, yeah.
what was that system that we used to have here at IGN?
Oh,
where
yeah.
we'd get the bonus money, but you had to give it all away.
The fun bucks. Tokens of appreciation.
Thank you. Yes.
Only 90s kids will remember tokens of appreciation.
That sounds awful.
No, it was
No,
great.
It was
great.
actually
Getting money.
really awesome.
And it was also like I'd get together with 4 or 5 people and be like,
Yeah.
hey, let's just split this out
Everyone
evenly. Shift
to the
one
right.
to the right.
Put your money
joke-
down and then move.
The joke was Marty didn't actually split it evenly.
Marty's making side deals.
Yeah.
That's dark
Yeah,
side
Marty's
KOTOR
like,
stuff
only
right
the
there.
top is 100.
Yeah.
Everything else are
This
$1.
is Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Okay. So this one. So remember the Duke Nukem thing we were talking about with Randy Pitchford's tweet last week?
Yep.
Yeah.
It turned out to be
No.
this.
It's
which was-
kinda cool.
It's cooler than I
Yeah.
honestly thought it would have been, because this is so. You guys know I'm not the biggest fan of remasters, and
Yeah.
some of you aren't either. But this one, it's a Bulletstorm remaster. If you don't remember Bulletstorm, it was a game by People Can Fly, who later went on to do Gears of War Judgment.
Yep.
And Bulletstorm was a
Fantastic shooting mechanic.
yeah, it's a first-person shooter with just this great, almost literal hook. You had a lasso, this like digital lasso thing.
Lots of flair.
Yeah, and you could kick dudes and do
Yeah.
all kinds of.
And it was
moves
almost like Tony Hawk because it was killing with style, and you got
Yes.
points for chaining combos
Yeah.
together and doing
Yeah.
original things and using the environment. It was actually like a really cool, underappreciated shooter.
It was. I feel like I reviewed it. I want to say I gave it like an 8.
Yeah.
Like it was excellent.
Yeah.
It was a very good game, and it is coming back. It's a Bulletstorm remaster. It's called like the No Clip Edition or something. I didn't
Nice.
write down its dumb name.
That's a dumb name.
It's anyway.
Also, if you don't have a clip, how are you gonna
lasso.
engage in a storm of bullets?
the Bulletstorm No Clip Edition. So does that mean Danny O'Dwyer developed it?
Oh,
Topical.
Inside joke.
should sue that. I'm going to text that guy.
So yeah, it's coming back for Xbox One, PS4, PC. The hook is the other hook that gets me
got it.
is thank you. just hang with me for a little longer. It's the end of the year.
Yeah.
I don't have much left in the tank. I got to be honest. You'll have the ability to play through the entire game as Duke Nukem.
Sweet.
I forget. I reviewed the game and I can't tell you the name of the hero. It's generic buff dude.
Yeah.
Generic buff white guy.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Now you can be a sassy buff white guy.
Yes. They've
redid
re-recorded all of the
voice.
dialogue.
And rewrote a lot of things just for Duke. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Really?
I am 100% gonna play this again.
It'll be a fun
As Duke,
experience.
That's a way to get to add a little new flavor into a game, is to do something goofy like that.
I think
Like-
you were saying, I thought the exact same thing. I'm 100% going to play the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
the
just
first
thinking that.
hour for sure.
Those
It's like,
first 2 levels are going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then,
It is $60.
I mean,
That's
a
little
little
surprising.
okay. Yeah.
Wow, really?
John St. John got to eat.
I'm gonna kick you in the dick. And lasso you. I mean, half an hour of that. Like, I don't know if I'll make it because spoiler alert: the last third of that 6-hour game doesn't. It falls apart.
Yeah.
Quite a
Duck
lot.
Nukem in the last third.
The boss fights, like the end's real bad, but the game, like the core of it's really good.
What if they just deleted the bad stuff? There's like, that's it. You beat it.
He just Duke Nukem gets on a spaceship tractor and flies.
That was. I like the idea that the director's cut shorter. That's what Oliver Stone did with the movie Alexander. It was like 3 hours in theaters, and then they released the director's cut, and it was like 45 minutes shorter. I'm like, well,
and
what if you would have edited that before theaters?
and it was better.
Yeah.
Now that I've saved you from that, why don't you go play Duke Nukem forever?
No, where are you going? Come back.
Please.
Do you
I
think
need
he'll
to
make
come
fun
back.
of his own game?
What?
He'll probably make fun of his own game.
I guess because Gearbox is publishing it, right?
Yeah.
So, and Gearbox owns the Duke IP. That's so. Yeah, they could totally
poke
have it
fun.
within themselves.
Yeah,
to,
it's just also
make
interesting that
happen.
we got the Duke 20th anniversary.
Yes,
and
which I
then we're
still
getting-
haven't played.
And then we're getting this.
Yep.
Like I fully think in 2017 we're gonna get the reveal of an
next-
actual Duke Nukem.
What if
So-
instead of Conquer, Duke Nukem was in that game Spark?
Project.
Do you want that awful misogynist running around your living room?
Oh, not the HoloLens version.
Yeah.
He's talking about Project
Project
Spark.
Spark. That's like the HoloLens thing. Keep away from your daughters.
That's even better. It's just like a little Duke.
He's trying to kick my dog in the dick.
Let me get in your pants and tickle your dinkleberries while you watch TV. Like,
Get
stop
outta
it,
here,
little
Duke.
Hollow Duke. That's not what I asked for at all. Although now that you mention it, it does make this season of Game of Thrones even more enjoyable.
God.
Wow. Hollow Duke.
Oh.
Well, you're welcome, Gearbox, for
Yeah.
just
And HoloLens
your entire
developers.
marketing plan. Forgot what I was gonna say about that. It was
Oh, Duke maybe
who's
coming
gonna
to
make it though? Like, because Gearbox is busy with Borderlands 3, which they've announced but not announced four times.
Gearbox opened up Gearbox Quebec.
That's right.
And they're staffing up, working on a AAA game, and they're getting AAA folks talent there. So
He's
yeah.
Canadian.
But also like
the king, baby.
Ryan has a very good Duke Nukem.
Yeah. A very good French
The
Canadian.
people have been asking for it, so it's
Yeah.
like it's the end of the year. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
yikes.
Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, whatever else.
Feliz Navidad.
Feliz Navidad.
Quack quack quack.
Well, that's different.
That's
That's,
Duck-
Max
that's Duck-
Scoville
that's Duck-
territory.
You're gonna put
Yeah.
John St. John out of work if you keep.
No, that's not going to happen. He's the best.
Hey,
the
he
le-
still voices Big the Cat in Sonic, so that man will never
And
be
if
out
you
of work.
never, by the way, if you missed the unlocked interview that I did with John St. John,
cool.
that was this year, right?
I don't know.
Can't keep track of
time's a
years
flat
anymore.
circle.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Google it. He was great to talk to.
Interesting
It
dude,
was
yeah.
really fascinating. Okay, we're running out. We've got like 20, 30 minutes left. I want to make sure we get to the rest of this, but anyway, I'm gonna give the stamp of approval to Gearbox, and people can fly on that Duke Nukem-ified Bulletstorm remaster.
A fun rent.
I do agree that $60 is a
Where the
bit
hell did I
much
rent it came from?
Yeah.
for a game that was
People
out
can gamefly.
8 years ago or whatever, but.
And you say the last third's pretty bad, so.
Yeah, it's like 4 good hours and 2 not so good hours.
Yeah.
Like life.
How are you still alive if it's been more than if
Not
you were
going well.
not going well? All right.
Sorry, Marty. Jeez.
Crackdown 3.
Yep.
You're not
You
gonna,
really took
you're
the
gonna-
ball and ran with it
I
there.
played Crackdown 3 once.
You know what? I bet the Crackdown 3 you played is not the Crackdown 3 we're going to play next fall.
Yeah.
I bet that is a way different game.
Fact.
I played like the tech demo,
Yeah.
basically. And it was awesome, and nobody else got to play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a little update. Almost an accidental
But
update.
yeah, and it sort of just confirmed things that we assumed.
So what did we assume, Marty? What have we been thinking about Crackdown 3?
I mean, we assumed they've said 2017, but we assumed like this is gonna be one of their fall games, whether it's their September, October, or November game. And then we
Very Scorpio-ified.
very
By the
Scorpio-ified.
festive period.
By the festive period. And then we assumed, it'd be running on 4K on Scorpio. And yeah, over the weekend during an Extra Life stream, the art director, Dave Johnson, and executive producer, Peter Connolly, responded to questions and said that, you can expect it at the festive period or earlier.
The festive period.
Yeah. And then
fun
also
way
that
to
it was going to
tease
run
it.
on the Scorpio, which I totally, I imagine that's going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, what gun to your head, what month? Is this their October game?
Well,
Crackdown?
presumably there's no Halo game or Gears game,
Yeah.
which,
Presumably.
Presumably.
Got that out.
yeah.
Man, but I feel like they need, if the fall is going to be Forza this and Sea of Thieves,
Yes,
I feel like they need, it just feels like it's missing something.
You
right?
think so?
I don't know.
Crackdown's going to be awesome, I think.
So I think Forza's. I think that's the one that's got to drop on or after the console does, because it's
be a
the
launch
easiest
title.
Yeah.
one to
Because
be
of
like,
cardboard.
look how
Yes.
sexy this
Cardboard,
is.
Yeah. Every
Crack-
console's launched with
I think,
cardboard.
yeah, I think Crackdown could hit before,
And get a Scorpio update.
but Sea of Thieves could as well. I mean, maybe it's going to go.
Yeah, I think
Sea of Thieves in September, Forza and Scorpio in October, and Crackdown in November.
Yeah.
I could totally see it
I
going
think
that way.
Crackdown's their marquee game this holiday, and I think Sea of Thieves goes first.
There's a really good chance. I mean, Forza's never come out later than early October, I think. I don't.
Yeah.
At least in the last several years, maybe back in the early Forza days. But yeah, Forza's basically in the modern Xbox era never been a November game. I don't see that changing.
I think they're missing the big shooter exclusive,
Yeah.
like Halo, because they meet like the third person thing with Crackdown.
Well, maybe that's what their Crackdown is becoming, right? Is their big action game for
Big
November.
action game, yes,
But-
but not first person.
I would argue though that is it even smart to try and put something out there? Like this year I thought they were smart. Gears was out ahead of Battlefield 1, Call of Duty, and Titanfall.
Yeah.
2017, we're looking at, again, we're assuming, but this is just what the calendar and history has told us. Destiny, the official Destiny 2 is probably
That's
next
what we're
fall.
thinking, yeah.
The official Star Wars Battlefront 2 is probably next fall.
Return of
along-
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's
Of course,
Creed, but
Call
I'm
of
just
Duty.
talking
Oh,
shooters,
shooters, yeah.
along with
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
maybe a Battlefield game. I guess that's been a little
Probably not.
tougher to predict.
Yeah.
but a
definitely
Call,
Call of
I
Duty.
think
but
Battlefront takes over
a
Battlefield.
Sledgehammer Call of
Yeah.
Duty. So
Yeah.
maybe whether it's Advanced Warfare 2 or whether they do
They're
something
just
else.
like, well, we won't
So,
do it this
yeah,
year.
is it even wise to do a first person shooter when there's those big third party guns?
I mean,
out
but
there?
When the 360 launched, they ported Halo 1 and 2. They're like, you can play these day one, and that was sort of their solution for the FPS market. They'll probably just do that with Halo 5. Like, hey,
that's actually a really actually I hadn't considered.
that would be a
in
way to
fact.
fill that gap in the
Yeah,
Xbox.
or a big
versus
Gears
Halo
update.
5 in 4K. And
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
maybe at 60 frames.
Also-
still too.
So
Or free.
I was going to say that
Yeah.
I think we could get a killer fall exclusive revealed at E3.
I hope so.
Also, remember Scalebound?
Yeah.
Because I literally just thought of that.
I think it'll be
wow.
out long before the holidays, though, because
gonna hold it.
they said it didn't make this holiday
Yeah.
because they didn't want it getting stomped by all the holiday games.
Do you think it comes out in the March, April, May area?
Like,
Scalebound's
sort of
maybe
where,
the
a
summer
really
Quantum
good
Break.
launch title.
Pardon me,
Sort of
Marty?
where like Quantum Break came out this year.
That would be my expectation for that game.
Scalebound's a fantastic Scorpio launch title, though, I think.
I mean, that game was sort of a disaster when they last showed it. So I mean, they
Well,
So
it's
take
just-
an
it's
extra
just
year,
early.
make
It's
it
still
awesome,
early.
and then launch the Scorpio with
Yeah.
it when it's in a polished state.
I don't think that's the game that you position as. This is why you should care about Scorpio. I think that's just a game. Like you put it out and that's a game. Let's put it this way: that the one for them, one for me kind of thing. Like for Phil, I feel like Scalebound's one for him. Yeah. Whereas Gears and Halo are one for us. So.
I'm thinking of Scalebound as rounding out the market want.
I totally hear you there.
And I think that would be another one that they could slot in with the Scorpio launch, like also Scalebound for people who like that style.
Okay,
of
I
game.
see what you're saying now. Just as more Scorpio-ified games
Covering
to,
the
to point
portfolio.
to.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
You make all right. That's a great point. Yes, but then again, they can't neglect They can't just go have nothing up until the holidays.
Yeah, that's true.
There've got to be some games. I mean, Cuphead is going to be out there. I mean, yes, that's an indie game, but that's a high profile
Below,
title.
Tacoma.
Right.
Mass Effect in March.
I mean, we're just talking about exclusives, though.
Yeah. Exclusives, yeah.
Well, spring they said. We're assuming March because
I mean, the leak was March.
With that
see.
art book thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, Crackdown 3, our suspicions confirmed there. Probably my favorite story of the week is this one.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one, man.
This is good. So,
Sorry.
Capcom.
Wait, the last time I was on this show, we were talking about how much we hate Capcom's remasters.
What's coming full circle?
It's full circle.
So yes, I have very
time.
People get mad at me sometimes. We are honest in the good and the bad, and that's what I feel like you can't have one without the other. You've got to have the good to counteract the bad, but you've got to be able to criticize constructively in order to not have it seem like we just kiss everything's ass. And in this case, Capcom.
This is so getting an M rating.
You said ass.
You can say that on television.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't want to know.
Capcom's been a publisher we've been real hard on. At least I certainly have. I guess I won't speak for. Can I speak for you guys on
You
this?
can speak for me.
I
That's
can
fine.
speak for. All right.
I've been vicious. I said,
I was in the car outside their office.
stop.
I put a banana in their tailpipe.
Oh, I got them.
I delivered a strongly worded letter.
Don't tell Marty that most cars have like 2 to 4 tailpipes now. So that
How expensive are bananas? Dang.
So many bananas, Marty. You don't know.
yeah, Capcom. We've been very critical of them, saying like in the first few years of the 360 life cycle, Capcom was arguably one of, if not the best third-party developer.
Dead Rising, Lost Planet.
Yes, Street Fighter 4.
Oh, yeah.
Resident Evil 5.
Evil 5. Just this incredible lineup of great both original games and reinvigorated
and then
franchise
even
sequels.
little stuff like Mega Man 9 and 10 and
Bionic Commando.
Bionic Commando Rearmed is really good.
Not Dead Wife Arm.
No, not that one. But even that one, they brought it back, and it was,
Oh, man.
I reviewed that game
really
too,
funny way to
by the
phrase
way.
Yeah.
I liked it more than most people did. but-
Bionic Commando.
I love the fact
Dead
that his
wife
dead
arm.
wife was his arm. I thought that was great.
Spoiler alert
Yeah.
if you haven't played
Sorry,
Bionic
everybody.
Commando for 360, but yeah, and then this generation came around and Capcom, for whatever their reason, I mean, there's always a money reason, but they were not. They publicly said, we are focusing on our back catalog and just remastering and re-releasing our old stuff. And I'm not a fan of that, and I've been through that a million times. So I was really stoked to see this week they actually put out some news that said Capcom has announced that it will now begin a process of, quote, reviving series that have not had new entries recently.
Mega Man.
In the press release, the publisher said that after announcing the first Marvel vs. Capcom game in 5 years, which was
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite?
Infinite, thank you. I was going to say Ultimate.
That was the last one.
They already
Yeah, that
released
was-
that.
Ultimate Marvel vs.
Right.
Capcom 3, which you can download in March on your Xbox.
Nice. So that's good.
It's today on PlayStation.
They're looking to, quote, enhance its corporate value even further by utilizing its library of rich content. So they're finally realizing, hey, we're sitting on a gold mine of IPs. Let's do something about it instead of just re-releasing things.
Yeah, I mean, and since E3, they've revealed 3 big games.
Yeah,
They had,
Resident Evil
7,
7,
Dead
Marvel
Rising,
vs.
which we're going to talk about in a little bit, and then Marvel vs. Capcom. So if they continue this, and if we get a new Devil May Cry, or if we get a
Lost
new
Planet.
Lost Planet,
Mega Man.
kind of done with Lost Planet.
It could be brought back in the right way.
That chilly zone.
You don't like shooting things that glow?
It's been long
Guys,
enough.
we don't need Mega Man. We had. I literally can't
Mighty
remember.
Number
what
9.
we had
that one game.
game we all forgot about.
Mighty
It's a lot
Number
like-
9.
Yeah. Yike.
And Mega Man Collection.
That Mega Man collection was cool, actually.
Yeah. So yes,
want a new Mega
as
Man.
much as we were critical of Capcom before,
They did it good.
It is now absolutely we have to come around and heap praise and appreciation for. Yes, thank you, Capcom, for realizing for utilizing these great properties that you have and getting back into the new games business. It is great to see. Destin,
Yes.
the year is nearly over.
Sure is.
But there's still more things to play. What can we spend our hard-earned money on?
Dead Rising 4, Brandon.
Yes.
Right.
You reviewed this game.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why?
What'd you think?
I like Dead Rising 4 quite a bit. In fact, I think it's great.
You had a lot of really nice things to say about this. I did a little bit of the 4-player co-op mode with you,
Yeah.
which it's not campaign co-op, but it's a...
No, so they got rid of the single-player campaign co-op and replaced it with a multiplayer episodic sort of not wave-based, but timed sort of complete missions in 8 hours in game, right? And then get back to the shelter. So I'm gonna use the term like Call of Duty Zombies, but like don't jump to any conclusions there. It's not Call of Duty Zombies, but it is like that, where you and your friends go and explore this area.
It's a side thing.
Yeah, it is not the marquee feature of this game.
Does it? Before you jump into the single player, does the co-op stuff feed back into the economy and progression of your single player characters, sort of like Watch Dogs 2?
The economy, not the progression. So the skill tree is identical to both.
Okay.
Multiplayer has like an extra section with multiplayer only skills.
Yeah.
But you level your multiplayer career and your Frank West
Separately.
story career separately.
Gotcha.
But money does share between them, which is great because
cool.
like at the start of a round, I don't have anything and I need to use a vending machine, but I don't have money. I can just go do a couple missions in story mode and come back and then
That's
be
cool.
fine.
I like that. Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about the single player game, because Dead Rising's had a very interesting history to it.
Yeah.
This one again published by Microsoft, just as Dead Rising 3 was. I mean, it is Microsoft that as of now is not only keeping this franchise going, but growing it. The first game was this at the time really original blend of Western sort of sensibility of sorts with Eastern design philosophy. It was this cool blending of East and West, and it was just such a unique thing, and turned out to have this really cool sci-fi story underneath it, like way down underneath it.
Yeah.
And then Dead Rising 2 was,
It was more of the bigger...
Well, that's when it went to Capcom Vancouver, because the first one was developed by Inafune in Japan. So then, it sort of shifted over to a new developer, and this is now Capcom Vancouver's third time with it, and it really feels like that they've found it now.
You can see that progression, right? I mean, so what I said in my review, which is by the way on IGN right now, you can go YouTube. Yeah, you can go check that out. But the step they started to take with Dead Rising 3 to make this game less of that unique, weird, sort of niche kind of game, and into more of a mainstream action game. That step has been completed in Dead Rising 4. Like, this is that game now. They got rid of the timer that you had to that kept you moving at a brisk pace and making decisions. Do I want to do the side quest? Will I have time to make it over to the food court if I do it? Like, all that's gone now. You go out, it's an open world, there's tons of cars, and it's just gratuitous, and
it's Christmas, and
God,
that adds to the game, right?
The Christmas element is so good because there's this weird juxtaposition between literally murdering things that look like humans. Like, I have killed 38,000 of them now.
Congrats.
and then
halfway to the achievement.
Thanks, man. There's a bunch of them actually for like.
I'm assuming that there's another
there's one
Willamette
for like
achievement, by the way.
204,000 or something like that, which I'll never get.
Good luck with that.
In the original, you could just ride a car around, and
That's what I've
It was like 65,000 or so.
It was the population
of Willamette.
And it said it on the sign when
Willamette.
you were going in. I can't remember, but this is like Dead Rising the second or Returns or something, so it doubles that.
Oh,
and it's an impossible. So we just got done praising Capcom, but no, it's good, man. The Christmas theme is really good. Like, the contrivance, like the aesthetics around the mall, the decorations and all that is one thing. That's fine, and it's good. It works. But God, you like go into the menu music and it starts piping out like that good department store jazz, like those covers of Christmas songs, and then like traditional music, and then like those sweeping scores that you find in like Home Alone movies. You know, like it is very Christmassy, like through and through, all the way.
So I should play it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play it in the next like 3 weeks.
Yeah, and I will. It's next on my list. I'm trying to finish The Last Guardian just because it's this piece of history. But Dead Rising 4 is totally next on my list.
Yeah, I mean, the mechanics just feel really good. Like, I think the core gameplay I like the most. It's technically buggy. Dead Rising has always been technically buggy just because you have 1,000 zombies on screen at once, and they all come apart at different parts, and the animations are all different, and there's a lot of particles going on. It's technically buggy. The story is way better than it has any right to be.
And Frank's back too.
Yeah, and Frank's back, of course. But like, Frank is the perfect delivery system for this game, right? Because he's crass, he's sassy, he's got a heart of gold, and he like loves killing zombies. So I mean, in my opinion, he's a perfect protagonist. And I think playing it, like I had more of a connection to this game. I'm curious about players who didn't play one specifically or 2 off the record, which replaced Chuck Green with Frank in Dead Rising 2. I'm curious about people who hadn't played those games and just picked up Dead Rising 3 if they're gonna have that same connection to Frank.
Yeah, totally.
That I
3,
did.
you know, and 3 was a good game. It was actually- but it's had the challenge of having been a day one launch title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Launch
a
game.
little rough
Yeah.
around the
Yeah,
edges.
sure.
Yeah. So it's nice to see that now on mature Xbox hardware and, you know, XDK that they've really found it.
Yeah, like I mean, every once in a while, I'd turn the camera and a wall would be pink, like the texture dropped out, right? But like outside of that, frame rate is pretty solid. It stutters sometimes, and it's noticeable when it does, but like it's usually very smooth.
I wonder if we're lucky, Santa Phil and maybe the Dead Rising team, in a year from now, next Christmas, will put an update out that Scorpioifies this game.
Yeah.
Oh, that would
that'd
be
be cool.
so
Smooths out
Like
the
Sony
frame
did,
rate.
yeah.
and-
Yeah.
That'd be
Also, I would love like another mode. The one thing I will say is like it's super easy. Like
Yeah?
that game is really easy. I didn't die once in my 25 hours
What?
playing.
Wait, you didn't die once.
The only time I died was by fire. It was environmental fire. It was like this level where there's fire coming in the building, and I'm like, what do I do? And then I burned to death. But outside of that, I didn't die to zombies. Didn't die to people. Didn't die.
Are there difficulty levels?
No,
There are none.
No.
So we can't just pump it up to veteran difficulty.
afraid not. So I
Interesting.
would love a like a nightmare mode
New
or,
Game plus
or a
kinda thing?
72-hour mode, and like
that'd be fun.
Put that
Like a survival mode.
Put that countdown timer back in. Well, the multiplayer is basically survival mode. Like you and 4 players are in the mall, and then the gate opens and you go do your missions, and then you come back to the shelter, right? And the multiplayer is hard. Like it's much harder than the single game.
Oh yeah, I didn't do well when we played.
Yeah, well, Ryan gets in like with 3 seconds left on the clock, and it's like everyone get to the shelter to survive, and Ryan spawns in like, "Hey guys," and then the gate closes, and he just gets eaten to death.
I did get like 2 rare achievements though, because it was to finish a round without using a weapon.
Yeah, nailed
Like,
it.
well, yeah.
Really pulling the weight.
I have a feeling that's going to not be a very rare achievement in actually probably by now because
it's
people just
out.
joining the game and getting that achievement.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday
in the middle of the round.
I played some multiplayer on the live show that we do every day.
Yeah.
And no problem finding the game. So there are people playing. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's not your traditional Dead Rising. If you are looking at this as a Dead Rising game, I think you need to think of it more as a fun, sort of irreverent zombie killing action game with Frank West.
You know,
Like it's got all the trappings of Dead Rising, but it doesn't have that escorting survivors
that kind
and
of
timer.
just popcorn palate cleanser
it's
kind
totally
of thing.
perfect.
Like,
It's
feels
the-
pretty. That sounds pretty good right
That's
about
the
now.
perfect term for it. Like go home, pour a drink, open a beer, kill zombies for 2 hours, and then go do whatever else. You know?
Sounds good.
I think people will think it's fantastic.
Oh man.
Come on, Frank
Oh,
West.
man.
All right.
Lana's not here to back
Get
you
me
up
out
on
of
that
here.
one.
Get me out of here.
He's covered wars, you know.
Let's keep going. What else can we buy?
Other stuff. Did we
Get us
mention-
out of here, Destin.
Oh yeah, so here we go. Digital Steep, Obzu, Wand Wars, Stern Pinball Arcade. Now normally we joke around about this
Is it
section.
Howard Stern or is
but-
it just Stern?
Stern Pinball. Just
But
like the
Obzu
ones
and
over
Steep
there in our
are
line.
definitely worth checking out. I think.
Yeah,
Like,
Obzu's
people are really liking
Obzu's
Steep.
very good.
Obzu's fantastic.
Yeah.
I haven't actually played it, but it
Yeah,
looks
it's
awesome.
by some former folks from that game company. It's Underwater Journey, for lack of a better descriptor. Really good.
Then there's also the Dwarves, which I hear is okay.
Yeah.
Energy Cycle and Her Majesty's Spiffing.
Can't make this stuff up.
1849.
Well, we're at the post news now.
I had the same
that'll
thought you
cost you
did when I read that
$35.
title, by the way.
Ah, the spiffing.
Marketplace, we got Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, the 1st 31st. Outlast, December 16th to January 15th. Outland, December 1st to 15th. Yeah, we're still good. Burnout Paradise, the 16th to 31st. Get Burnout, get Sleeping Dogs, get Outlast.
They're all free.
Outland's
You know what?
good.
You can get Outland too.
They're all.
Get them all.
they're
Just
all
hit that
free
Outland
this month.
button.
But this is a really good lineup.
If you've got it, if
I
you've
don't
got
know.
a gold
I don't
account.
know. I can't speak to Outland though.
Outland's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Trivia now.
Hey.
Let's do a little trivia. I know we're running out of
I
time.
think I want to change my answer.
You want to change your answer?
Yeah, well, too
we
bad
can do
Ben's
that.
over here, dude.
So, Unlock Block Trivia comes to us this week from Michael Johnson, whose gamer tag is Sin Vendetta, all one word.
Nice.
It's a dude with some reckoning, I guess. To don't. I don't know. That's a lot of gamer tag
Yeah.
to
It's a lot
to contemplate. So, Michael Johnson, you've won yourself a copy of one of the video games in my email box, including, by the way, I've got a copy of Overwatch, actually a physical copy that someone was kind enough to send in for a giveaway. So, Michael, if you'd like that, we'll talk on email. The question, gentlemen, is what was the first Halo game to give you an achievement for completing the entire campaign solo on legendary difficulty? Halo 4, Reach, 3, or ODST? So you got a 1 in 4 shot if you don't actually know it.
I don't think I do.
The scoring for the year. So next week, final show. Effectively, Destin, you either have to get this right or Marty has to get it wrong. For otherwise he because
wins.
Marty could clinch it right now. The trophy is here.
He hasn't circled anything yet.
Yeah, right here, the SE trophy, which I mean you have last year's controller, the Duke.
Yeah.
The Dookie.
I really like the SE though.
SE's real nice. It would look good next to that Dookie,
Sure
wouldn't
would.
it? Which sounds real gross. So
Take an SE and a Dookie.
here we go, guys. What do you think? I'm going to go to our man off the bench this week. Our
can I
sixth
change
man.
mine?
No, you
Brendan
can't change your
Tyrell.
answer,
You
Dustin.
can. No, you can.
It's
You
a
have
final
time.
answer.
No, he can change it right now.
You could just
No
say
one's
it. I'm
giving
not
any
going to
hints.
believe you. You could just say it when it gets to you.
All
You
right.
could say what your
All right,
answer is.
Okay,
everybody
Brandon?
on 3. No.
Brandon, what do you say?
I hope I get this
You
right.
have 2 points for the year, by the way.
Yeah!
Suck it,
In
Steve
striking
Gator.
range.
The dark horse.
Hey, can I have his points? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm about to have 3 because it's Halo 3.
That was going to be my guess as well. Halo 3.
Well, that's what I have down, so I'm going to stick with that answer because
Big risk, though.
I kind of have to, because if I lose, you know what? Screw it. I'm changing my answer to, oh God, I don't know if I want to.
None of us
the
know.
drama,
This is
man.
important.
All right, we
None
got to
of
get
us
out of this
know
room
it.
very
It's
soon.
fine.
I'll say Halo Reach.
Okay, final answer?
Yeah. No, it's 4, isn't it?
Sean Finnegan is the voice of God coming in and saying, you're all
according
wrong.
to Michael Johnson, it's Reach. Sean Finnegan, the voice of God, seems to disagree.
I'm like 99% sure it's 4.
So all right, we're gonna
I think you're wrong.
tentatively. We're gonna have to. We're gonna go. With,
It's tied
we're
up.
with Reach. We're going with so.
Once again, my theory that Destin looks up the answers on his phone during the show continues.
Destin tying Marty with 18 points. We have ourselves a tie heading into.
Yes.
I like it organically worked out this way over the course of a year, which is kind of amazing. Like statistics would show us that the odds, like normally one of you would be like 4 or 5 points ahead, but no,
So
here we
the
are. in a
reason
tie.
I changed it is as the show went on, I thought about Halo 3 and I remembered you could use the anchor tactic and have a second controller plugged in and have an anchor to respawn and juggle your weapons forward. So I changed my answer because I remembered that.
All right.
It's a sex thing. Don't worry about it.
The only second player is an anchor as a spawn point, basically.
Yeah, but juggle weapons to walk faster is what you're saying?
You juggle your weapons, which would usually have to be long range weapons in 3 to snipe people and stuff. It makes sense to Halo 3 crazy people. Sorry.
So bravo, Destin,
declaration of
and
independence.
thank you, Michael Johnson, for that very dramatic question that resulted in another good unlocked block
That
trivia
is
segment. Next week will be the finale of this thing. So if you would like to maybe get chosen to
have
be
to leave.
to be that,
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Destin. Miss you already. Just like off camera. Yeah, if you want to
Has a
have,
chance, just grab it and run.
maybe your question can be the deciding question next week in our final new show of the year. Send it to unlocked@ign.com. We need the question. We need 4 multiple choice answers. Please note the correct one, and then I will randomly choose the best one that the best random answer.
Let's make it a good banjo question. Let's just get a real good banjo question in next week. Maybe get something about Lost.
We'll see.
Something about drinking.
We'll see. All right, time to go, boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. It's late. We have to move on so that NVC can get in here.
Hey.
The whole set will magically change. By the
No,
way,
they're just going to keep the same bag.
this is our.
Oh, my
these
favorite
are-
Nintendo
these were the-
exclusives.
were graphics from another thing we did.
You know what?
But
They're
that's
great.
okay. They're
They're
all
great.
Xbox games.
I'm a big fan of all of them.
So I remind you, if you do not already sign up for IGN Prime, that is a thing you can spend a little money on for yourself. Treat yourself
Treat
this
yourself. Treat
holiday.
yourself.
$30, $29.95 will get you an ad-free IGN experience for 2017. Sign up. It is a 1-year subscription. It's 1 year at a time. $30. It's IGN.com/Prime if you're interested in supporting us and, again, treating yourself to an ad-free IGN experience for all of next year. Brandon Tyrell.
Hey.
Where can we find you out there in the wilds, and what are you up to?
I just got done reviewing this little game called Dead Rising 4.
I've heard
so
that.
Let's talk about it in depth now. No, I just got off the Dead Rising.
Get out of here.
Just pull a Destin.
Brandon suffered a head injury. He forgot we already talked about it.
Every day I live Dead Rising 4 over again. There's a 51st dates of Capcom.
I was going to say Groundhog Day, but I guess
there
we'll
you
do
go.
that. There's 2 types of people in the world.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I want to be I want to be Bill Murray. You and I are working on some IGN First stuff.
Yeah, we're doing
all month long.
We're doing just a hot games of 2017
So
theme.
hot.
So
Yeah.
very hot.
State
Piping
of
hot.
Decay.
That was day one.
That's a hot game of 2017.
That is a
Yeah,
hot game.
some concept images, including what do they call it? Like
It's like
a target render type thing.
it's like a real picture.
Like
that
this
they-
is what we hope what
game
we
will look
intend the game
Yeah.
to look like, and then some actually interesting new information that I
Yeah.
got out of Jeff Strain for that.
It's big.
Yeah,
Confirmed.
gonna be a big video game.
Today was Conan Exiles, and then we've got stuff coming for the next 3 weeks. I think the 4th week will be a little light, but anyway.
That's holiday week.
Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to be here, so. Yeah, doing that. Dead Rising 4. I'm on Twitter at just my name, BRANDINTYRREL.
Love it.
That's me.
Marty.
I'm at McBiggity, 2 G's and 2 T's. Check out my review of The Last Guardian. That's not
Yes.
a video game on this show, but that is an important video game. Check that out. And Alana and I's Let's Plays of Mass Effect have finally rolled out. So you can check that out on, I think it's called Marty Plays Mass Effect. It's on YouTube. We've both tweeted it out. I'm now playing that game, and next week I'll talk about that game because we have to leave the room in 1 minute.
I can't wait to see who you
Yeah.
smooch.
And we recorded. This should be going up over.
Yeah, is
I think
that
over
up?
the holidays. Our unlocked plays of Ninja Gaiden Black,
Right.
which was so much fun to get back into.
Yeah.
What a great excuse that
he
was.
was like a child.
I
Oh
know.
my God, it was
so
great.
happy
so
that we-
giddy. Yeah.
So good. So yeah, and then you can follow me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. Check out my Tesla podcast if you're interested in fun electric vehicles. That's called Ride the Lightning. And I think that's it. So we have a special episode of Unlocked going up soonish with all of the best Xbox One game of the year nominees.
Yeah.
So just the Xbox One category. So look for that. It was
Spoilers, some of them might be on this
some of
wall.
them might be behind us right now. I mean, you can.
Spoilers.
It would be
These are
surprising.
4 of them.
It'd be surprising if they weren't
Yeah.
on the list, these
Yeah.
games. So anyway, we got to get out of here. Again, final news show of the year coming next week. In the meantime, happy holidays to all of you, and we will see you back here one more time next week.